What is the challenge of the specific segment of society we are discussing, the youth? I submit that there are three essential elements which are needed for success. And this is the responsibility of every youth to have within themselves. And this is the challenge that they face. They need conviction, number one. Number two, they need brotherhood and sisterhood. And number three, they need power.
We have three sources of power. We Muslims in particular cannot live, survive, or gain victory unless and until we master the three sources of power.
Everything in life is based upon some sort of conviction. In Islam, we call that conviction Iman.
First source of power is the power of faith. The second source of power is the power of our unity as Muslims.
The second very important challenge is one of brotherhood. Mina is doing a fantastic job in that. I've seen people come from Mina conventions and conferences, and they have all sorts of new friendships and ties. And there's a network that's building. Whether or not you know it, there's a network that's building on the underground all over this country and all over this continent. And inshallah, I hope, in 5 or 10 years, when things come to fruition, these people will take over, and inshallah, they'll be a source of light for the entire ummah. This network is very important and must continually be built. The third very important, and I think perhaps maybe the most neglected aspect of success and change and the challenge is called al-quwwa, power.
The third power is the power of armament.
The truth cannot be propagated without power. You don't have strength to protect yourself. You don't have strength to propagate. You won't be able to do it, no matter how great your message is. What I mean by strength is something much broader than just Iman. I mean economic strength. I mean strength in terms of money. I mean weapons. I mean everything. And it's a challenge for the Muslim youth, I believe, to go to the very highest level in any field of study. If you reach a position where you are over top of people rather than subservient to them, believe me, the amount of change you can do is much, much more. And I have no qualms in saying this, though maybe I shouldn't say it here, but we also have to have physical strength in terms of military strength. And the youth should not take this, especially the brothers, they shouldn't take it secondarily. The Prophet ﷺ, he taught that. The Quran said that. وَأَعِدُّوا لَهُمْ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ مِنْ قُوَّةٍ وَمِنْ رِبَاطِ الْخَيْلِ تُرْهِبُونَ بِهِ عَدُوَّ اللَّهِ وَعَدُوَّكُمْ. Prepare yourselves. Get ready. Is it so unreasonable for us to think that one day, as youth, that one day we wouldn't be in Palestine fighting?
Brothers, that's why the Quran says, prepare, وَأَعِدُّوا. Prepare.
It says in this specific ayah that one should prepare himself as much as he's able to the extent of his abilities. And if I could just digress a little bit, Afghanistan is one of those examples where people just prepared up to their abilities and see what the result was. Now these three things, I'm sure that I'm going over time, these three things are very, very important, and they have to be gathered within ourselves. But is this something which I personally elucidated myself? I came to this conclusion sitting down at night and saying, well, these are the three things that I think will be the remedy of the ummah. Is this what the youth have to be, is this the challenge which the youth face? I refer you again to one specific story. And it's a date that I hope that every youth has etched deep inside their hearts. The date is February 12th, 1949. Does any of you guys know what happened on that day? Does anyone know? I was talking to some brothers down here before. On that specific day, I take you to Rome, Italy. And I report this story on the authority of Sheikh Abdul Hamid Kishk. In Rome, Italy, he narrates that one of his friends was there on that specific night. And then, deep in the night, they heard the bells ringing. Ringing and ringing deep in the night. And he started to wonder, what is this? Why this celebration all of a sudden? And he went down and he started asking around. And people were dancing in the streets. There was all sorts of diplomats shaking hands and hugging. What was it that happened on this night that brought about this amount of rejoicement? So he stopped the man and he asked him, and he said, well, why all this partying? And the man told him, haven't you heard the news? Hassan Albanna has been cut down in the streets of Cairo, and we are tasting the sweet feeling of joy and success. Imam Hassan Albanna was the one who elucidated these principles. Do you know who Imam Hassan Albanna was? He was a man who taught Islam to be a deenun kamilun, a complete religion, a complete way of life. He taught that Islam was not just a religion, but a deen and a dawla.
Brother Jawad Shaw has given us three very important points. First and foremost thing is to conviction to our aqidah, our religion, our belief, and our faith. And second thing is the brotherhood and the sisterhood. I will not forget that about sisterhood. And the third is the empowerment, that we have to get ready, be prepared. Before we are attacked, we should be ready to defend ourselves.
I keep addressing you all as if you're all youth, you know. But you know, we have the coolest religion in the world. Like really, the coolest people in the world are Muslims. Believe me, you just name them off. Malcolm X, Hassan Albanna, Sayyid Qutb, coolest people in the world. I mean, these people, they stand up for justice. They fight for truth, you know. And it's all based upon knowledge, their understanding. We have a very great religion. And if the youth can come to understand that, they're going to do and achieve great things. There's no question about it. And it's a question of having heroes as well. Like, who are the heroes of the youth? I mean, these people are people who are interested in knowledge and understanding. Who are the heroes of this society? Like, there's this guy, what's his name, MC Hammer? You see the pants that guy? Well, maybe that's... I mean, the heroes of this society are a joke, you know? MC Hammer and I don't know who else. There's Michael Jackson, who knows what he is, you know? And like, these are the heroes of this society, and people who, like, if you start emulating those people, you become like them. Like, if you really like them, then you start behaving like them, start getting haircuts like them, and then, you know, so it's a question of heroes as well. Like, we should try and understand who it is that brought this religion to us, and what type of individuals they are. And when you stand up to pray, whether at McDonald's or on the side of a street or wherever, you stand up proud because you're a Muslim.
The world only hears those who speak. The world only respects those who push back. The world only fears those who fight back. Brothers and sisters, in a post-9/11 atmosphere, many Muslims, including a lot of Muslim leaders, including world leaders and national leaders and presidents and kings and emirs, have bowed down to the Western pressure. We, the Muslim masses, would never and should never bow down except to Allah. Every one of us should be the first in line. When we're called for truth, we should be the first to apply. When we're called for justice, we should be the first to stand. When we're called to sacrifice, we should be the first in line. Muslim men, when it is a price to pay, they are first in line. When there is a gain to make, they are last to seek anything from anyone other than Allah. So they are the first in the prayer line. They are the first in the zakat line. They are the first in the hajj line. They are the first in the cleanup line. They are the first in the community service line. They are the first in jihad line. They are the first in the da'wah line. But they are last if anything is being distributed, except if it is arms for jihad. We are the first ones to rush and run to defend our community and defend ourselves. The enemies of Allah are lining up. The question is for us, are we lining or are we afraid because they may call us terrorists? Let me give you the good news. They are already calling us terrorists anyway.